Jaimie survived an extraordinary event. A projectile struck his head, yet, strangely, it didn't take his life. Through a series of medical coincidences and a lot of luck, he recovered. This account not only describes his near-death experience, but also reveals his reflections on life, destiny, and simplicity. Today, he wonders if something might be guiding seemingly random events, because that's the only thing that could explain his survival. How did he make it through something so fatal? And what does it all mean? Hello, I'm Marcus, and it's a pleasure to have you here at Beyond the Life We Live. I hope you feel at home and absorb the lesson from the story we're about to share. By the way, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it's very important to us and helps bring more impactful stories to you. Jaimie kept his story to himself for a long time because it was both revealing and strange. He says that one day he was approached on the street and struck by a projectile on the side of the head, very close to his ear. Incredibly, the bullet stopped at a bone that doctors consider the strongest in the human body, called the rock. When he was hit, he passed out. At that moment, he began to feel like he had been transported somewhere else, and he describes this place as immense, where he was greeted by beings made of light that didn't seem human.
Welcome, Jaimie. How are you feeling?
Where am I? What happened to me?
He remembers the pleasant feeling of being there and not speaking verbally with these beings, yet somehow he understood everything that was happening. He felt completely embraced by them. Until at one point they said,
Jaimie, you must return to your life.
I don't want to. I want to stay. Please, let me stay.
That's when he felt like he was being pushed back into reality. However, he describes having the impression that something was implanted in his body, like a chip or a microphone. Although he attributes this feeling to the projectile lodged in his head, he remembers waking up in the ambulance, blacking out again, and repeating that cycle several times until arriving in the ICU. There, Jaimie had a dream in which he spoke with his father and with doctors. That experience felt more like a regular dream, very different from the one with the luminous beings, which felt far more impactful and unique. When asked if he was aware of what was happening, Jaimie explains that everything happened very quickly. He knew what he had experienced, but he doesn't remember seeing his body lying there since he had lost consciousness. Still, he holds a very clear memory of those light beings. Though not human, the beings had silhouettes that resembled human forms, but they were made of light, clearly different from anything familiar. He says there were at least 3 or 4 of these figures, and they communicated without using sound or words. During that time, Jaimie felt very good, no pain, no anxiety, to the point where he didn't want to come back. Later, in the ICU, Jaimie clearly remembers interacting with his father, who had passed away long ago, and with the doctors. His sister, who was by his side during that time, confirmed that he spoke about it as if it were real, unaware that it might have only been a dream. He distinguishes that experience from the episode with the beings of light, which he describes as far more impactful and real, something far beyond an ordinary dream. Jaimie, who considers himself agnostic, says the experience didn't change his religious stance, but it did strengthen the idea that there's far more to the universe than what our senses can perceive and understand. He believes that there are realities beyond human perception, and even though it didn't change his beliefs, this event marked a turning point in his life, clearly dividing it into before and after. Reflecting on his situation, Jaimie realized he had 2 options: return to the complicated world that had put him in danger, or see his survival as a gift. He chose to view life as a gift, deciding that instead of focusing on negative aspects and frustrations, he would value the incredible fact that he was alive. Since then, he's come to see that many of his frustrations were tied to meaningless material desires, like needing a better car or other possessions that in the end are pretty insignificant.